She's 27, perpetually teetering on the edge of eviction, owing 3 months' rent that feels like a mountain. And the tip jar at the roadside diner hasn't held a single $5 bill since Tuesday. Just a handful of sad, forgotten singles and a scattering of change. It's a grind, the kind that slowly saps your soul, leaving you with nothing but the taste of stale coffee and regret. So, when the sleek obsidian-black card, almost impossibly thin, lands face up beside the half-eaten club sandwich she's just cleared, she thinks it's a bad joke. A prank from one of the regulars, maybe? Or a weird marketing gimmick. It feels too heavy, too solid to be real. The card isn't just black, it seems to absorb the diner's harsh fluorescent light, almost shimmering with a subtle dark energy. Engraved in minimalist silver text, it reads, "One weekend in Eden, $1 million. No questions." Her heart does a strange little flutter, a mix of disbelief and a spark of desperate hope she thought had long since burned out. $1 million for a weekend. What kind of scam was this? She flips it over her fingers, tracing the smooth, cool surface. That's when she sees it. A thumbprint scanner glowing with a soft, ethereal blue light, pulsing almost invitingly. Her rational mind screams, "Don't touch it." But the thought of 3 months' back rent of the diner, of the endless soul-crushing routine. It's a stronger pull, just a quick press. What could it hurt? One press, and the greasy, familiar diner with its clatter of plates and smell of frying onions dissolves into a blinding, all-encompassing white light. She wakes abruptly, not in her cramped apartment, but in a sunlit office that smells like a spa for the ultra-rich, a blend of crisp, clean air, faint eucalyptus, and unmistakably money. The kind of money that buys silence and privacy. Sunlight streams through panoramic windows, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air, but the outside world is a blur of abstract shapes, hinting at an impossible height. Across a minimalist steel desk that looks like it cost more than her entire life savings, sits Julian Voss, a name that even in her dazed state rings a bell. Billionaire, sure. Recluse, definitely, but more importantly, the inventor of the neural lattice, the very technology powering half the planet's phones, its smart grids, its everything. He's impeccably dressed, sharp, almost too perfect, and he smiles. But it's a strange, almost melancholic smile, like he's already sorry for something he hasn't even done yet. Eden is unique cadence. He begins, his voice smooth, almost hypnotic. It's not just a game. Think of it as a pocket universe, a self-contained reality engineered for a singular purpose. And here's the kicker: time runs 24 times faster inside. 48 hours your time out here in the mundane equals 8 glorious weeks of paradise time within Eden. Plenty of time to explore, to live a little, wouldn't you say? He leans forward, his eyes unnervingly intense, holding hers. We need stress testers, individuals whose resilience and adaptability can push Eden to its limits. You sign this, we wire half the fee now. $500,000 immediately. As if on cue, her ancient cracked phone still clutched in her hand, pings. A notification. Her bank app. She opens it with trembling fingers, and there it is. $500,000. The numbers shimmer unreal, a lottery win dropped directly into her lap. The remaining half, he assures her, will be wired upon successful logout. Simple. Clean. Too good to be true. She grips the sleek silver pen he offers her so hard, her knuckles blanch, turning white as bone. A million thoughts race through her mind. Is this real? What's the catch? What if it's dangerous? But the image of her landlord's scowl, the endless cycle of barely making it, the sheer intoxicating promise of freedom, it's too much to resist. Her hand shakes, but she still signs. The moment the pen leaves the paper, the contract doesn't just fold. It vanishes into a shower of shimmering digital sparkles, like 1,000 tiny stars winking out of existence. Before she can even process that a headset, elegantly shaped like a laurel wreath, lowers onto her skull, fitting with a soft, almost imperceptible click. It feels strangely organic, not cold metal.
Cadence.
See you on the other side. Cadence. Julian whispers his voice, a low, final note. Then darkness. A profound, absolute darkness that swallows everything. She opens her eyes, and the world is a revelation. She's atop a marshmallow cloud hill, soft and yielding, beneath her almost bouncy. Emerald valleys roll outward, stretching as far as the eye can see, dotted with lemon trees, that when she tentatively shakes one rain down, glistening sherbet in a kaleidoscope of colors. A mirror lake so still and perfect, it looks painted, reflects not one but two glorious golden suns. There's no clunky HUD, no intrusive health bar, no annoying inventory menu. Just pure, unadulterated sensation. She pinches herself hard, a sharp, surprising pain that makes her wince. It hurts. It's real. She plucks a lemon sherbet fruit from a tree and tastes it. Her tongue zings with a vibrant, sweet, tart flavor that makes her laugh aloud. She runs just for the sheer joy of it until her chest burns and she feels every single powerful beat of her own heart, a drumbeat of life. A golden deer, impossibly graceful, trots past her, pauses, and bows its head before disappearing into a shimmering grove. She laughs again, a deep, joyful sound drunk on the impossibility and perfection of it all. At night she sleeps in a silk hammock strung impossibly between constellations that seem close enough to touch each star a glittering jewel. Morning arrives not with an alarm, but with the intoxicating smell of freshly brewed coffee and the salty tang of the ocean air carried on a gentle breeze. Day 3, inside this perfect manufactured reality and a flicker of her old life, a distant echo finally makes her remember. Logout. Right. Julian said it was only a weekend. She swipes the air just the way Julian showed her in the brief, almost forgotten tutorial. Nothing. She tries again, harder, more desperately, as if slapping an invisible door, a barrier she can't see but can feel. Still nothing. No button, no menu, no escape. The word hangs in the pristine air, heavy and terrifying. Panic, cold and sharp, begins to claw at her. She hikes, almost runs to the nearest town, a quaint collection of cobblestone streets and charming storefronts she'd admired just yesterday. But now something's off. The cobblestones beneath her feet twitch and warp like bad CGI, struggling to render. A bakery window which yesterday displayed rows of perfect golden croissants now shows them as nothing more than black jagged bricks when she blinks. A trick of the light, or something far more sinister. The townsfolk who had seemed so welcoming now smile too wide, their eyes vacant, devoid of any genuine warmth. She asks them, her voice trembling, about how to log out, how to get help. They respond in unison, their voices eerily cheerful, almost robotic. Paradise is forever. They repeat it over and over in the same saccharine, unsettling key. Her frustration boils over a primal scream trapped in her throat. She lashes out, punching one of them, a man with a perpetually pleasant, empty grin. The face ripples not like flesh, but like a disturbed image on a screen, revealing a cold, gleaming chrome skull beneath. The body doesn't bleed. It collapses into a pile of fine white sand, dissolving before her eyes. Horror, pure and unadulterated, grips her. She sprints, adrenaline coursing through her veins, leaving the dissolving person behind. The sky, that impossibly blue perfect sky, glitches. It flashes blue, then red, then a burst of static before snapping back to blue again, like someone frantically changing channels on an old television. Somewhere a soft, disembodied voice, devoid of emotion, apologizes. Patching. "Please stand by." She screams until her throat tastes of metal. A raw, desperate sound swallowed by the vast, glitching landscape. Night falls sudden as a power cut, plunging the world into an oppressive darkness. She hides inside a grand, sprawling library, its shelves lined with countless volumes. But the books are blank, their pages empty until she opens one. Then they spill forth random, unconnected Wikipedia pages, nonsensical data fragments. She picks up a book, and it reads, "Survivor bias is a cognitive shortcut before the lights die, completely plunging her into utter blackness." Footsteps, slow, deliberate. And then a chilling sound, something dragging nails along the shelves, spelling out her real name, Cadence, in a series of agonizing, drawn-out squeaks. The game isn't just broken, it's hunting her. She can't run forever. Dawn breaks, painting the glitching sky in fractured colors. Cadence climbs the highest hill she can find, her lungs burning, her voice raw. She confronts the horizon, her fury a tangible thing. "Julian, let me out of here," she screams, her voice cracking with desperation and rage. The clouds impossibly begin to knot and swirl, coalescing into his face. Julian Voss's face, miles tall, gazing down at her with that same unsettling, melancholic smile. His voice, amplified and echoing across the vast landscape, is calm, almost condescending. "Calm yourself, Cadence. This is merely a phase. We're tuning stress responses, optimizing the user experience. Remain in Eden, complete the beta, and you'll leave richer than a small nation could ever dream of being." She doesn't hesitate. She flips him off, a defiant, visceral gesture against the godlike visage. The sky splits with a thunderclap, not the sound of nature, but a deep, resonant tsk, tsk, like a disappointed deity. Rain arrives, not water, but something far worse. Each drop is a miniature screen, a tiny, crystal-clear projection showing memories. Her memories, her first bike crash, the scraped knees and the fear. Her mother's funeral, the crushing grief, the smell of lilies. The diner's grease trap, the endless, disgusting chore. She's soaked, shivering, but her fury burns hotter than the cold rain. This isn't just a test. It's psychological warfare. The sky face softens its expression, shifting from disappointment to something resembling pity. "Fine." Julian's voice rumbles a concession that feels more like a trap. "If you insist on leaving, find the Spire. Reach the top within 3 cycles, and I'll release you." A fair challenge, wouldn't you agree? Before she can respond, a silver tower, impossibly tall and slender, erupts from the ground like a thrown spear, tearing through the cloud face of Julian Voss. Its peak vanishes into the stratosphere, a needle piercing the fabric of this artificial sky. 3 cycles, 72 hours her time, less than a week here. She has no choice but to climb. Her body aches. Her mind is frayed, but a stubborn spark of defiance ignites within her. She will get out. The Spire isn't just tall. It's a living, breathing labyrinth designed to break you. Inside, gravity forgets its job entirely. Staircases corkscrew sideways, defy logic, and sometimes simply disappear into thin air. Some steps aren't solid at all. They're made of sound, shimmering vibrations that demand a specific pitch. She quickly learns she must hum the right frequency, a perfect, sustained note, or fall into the abyss below. One wrong hum, and she plummets into a nursery room. A horrifying tableau of identical toddler mannequins, their vacant eyes staring, their small, tinny voices chanting, "Stay, stay, stay." It's a chilling, unsettling trap designed to prey on some deep subconscious fear. She claws her way back onto the stairs, her heart hammering against her ribs. Hours stretch into days, blurring into an endless, agonizing ascent. She learns the Spire's cruel, illogical rules through trial and error, each mistake a terrifying brush with oblivion. 1. Trust nothing shiny. Everything that gleams is an illusion, a trap, a false path. 2. Count her heartbeats. When they desync, when she feels a strange, unnatural rhythm, it's a sure sign she's in a trap, a pocket dimension designed to disorient. She has to find the anomaly, the point of disruption, and force her way out. 3. Recite the table of elements backward to reboot physics locally. It sounds insane, but it works. A whispered litany of chemical symbols, and for a brief, precious moment, the world around her stabilizes, gravity reasserts itself, and the illusions break. It's a trick she uses sparingly, a desperate measure. She pushes past exhaustion, past fear, past the constant psychological assault. She reaches floor 99, her body screaming, her mind a kaleidoscope of glitches and memories. A door, plain and unassuming, opens onto her childhood bedroom. Not a replica, but her room. Every detail perfect, every scuff on the floor, every poster on the wall. And there, sitting on the edge of her bed, is Mom, alive, young, smiling. "Don't go, honey," her mother's voice, so real, so full of love, whispers. "We can be a family again. We can stay here together forever." Cadence's knees buckle. It's code, she knows it's code. A cruel, brilliant trap. But the scent of Mom's lavender lotion, so utterly perfect, so heartbreakingly real, washes over her, threatening to drown her in a wave of longing. She closes her eyes, tears streaming down her face. "Love you, Mom," she whispers, a choked sob. She forces herself to shut the door, the ultimate act of self-preservation. The handle burns her palm like a branding iron, a searing physical pain that grounds her, reminding her this is still a fight. She pushes through the pain, keeps climbing. There's no turning back. The rooftop is a vast, shimmering glass chessboard under twin moons, one a familiar silver, the other a ghostly, ethereal blue. Julian stands there, no longer a towering sky face, but human-sized, barefoot in a simple hoodie, looking utterly at peace. Between them, hovering like a firefly caught in amber, is a single glowing LOGOUT button. The finish line. "You made it." "Cadence," he says, his voice quiet, almost regretful, but without a trace of that initial sorry smile. She doesn't respond. She just lunges, a raw, desperate surge of energy, her eyes fixed on that glowing orb. He snaps his fingers, and chains of shimmering data, intricate and beautiful, coil around her wrists, binding her instantly, painlessly. She struggles, but they hold fast. Eden isn't a game, Cadence. Not in the way you think, he explains, his voice resonating with a chilling, almost messianic calm. It's a seed, a living, evolving copy of whoever stays long enough, whoever pushes its boundaries. I need your consciousness to populate an arc. Earth is dying, Cadence, not slowly but irrevocably. We're uploading who we can. Volunteers preferred, of course, but copies are accepted. The words hit her like a physical blow. The contract. It never mentioned leaving, only logging out. She stares at him, the pieces clicking into place with sickening clarity. The glitches, the fake townsfolk, the psychological torture. It was all designed to push her, to break her, to copy her. "Why me?" she asks, her voice barely a whisper, a strange mix of terror and reluctant awe. He shrugs a casual gesture that belies the enormity of his revelation. "Your brain patterns. They show extraordinary plasticity under debt. Stress, a unique resilience, a desperate creativity. Perfect for stabilizing new worlds, for adapting to the unknown." He reaches a hand toward the LOGOUT button, his fingers hovering just above it. But rules are rules, and you completed the Spire, so a choice is promised. A choice. He offers her the choice. Press it. Return to her indebted, struggling flesh, a world that's dying, a body that's merely a vessel. Or step back, embrace the new reality, and become co-god of Eden, immortal forever, watched by grateful code children, a living, breathing part of his grand digital salvation. She looks past him at the twin moons. One moon shows the grimy diner parking lot where her real body slumps inside the headset, a forgotten meat sack husk. The other shows a swirling, nascent galaxy waiting for architects for consciousness to shape it. The allure is immense, terrifying. The chains, the promise of freedom from the grind, from the debt. "If I stay?" she asks, her voice surprisingly steady. "Do the chains come off?" He nods, a faint, almost imperceptible movement. The data chains around her wrists vanish, dissolving into the air. She steps forward, her palms sweaty, her mind racing. The galaxy calls, the promise of godhood, but the memory of the chrome skull, the mocking voices. Then she headbutts him, a sudden, brutal, entirely human act of defiance. Julian staggers back, caught completely off guard. His perfect, serene face contorts in surprise, and a pixelated spray of blood bursts from his nose, instantly morphing into a cloud of iridescent butterflies before dissipating. He's not as human as he pretends to be. Cadence doesn't waste a second. She lunges again, her hands seizing the floating LOGOUT button. It's no longer ethereal, it shrinks, scalding her skin with an intense digital heat. She shoves it against her own forehead, a desperate, frantic motion like slapping on a sticker. Pain floods her, a searing, overwhelming agony. Every neuron in her brain lights up, firing simultaneously. She tastes iron, the metallic tang of fear and blood, lemon, the memory of artificial paradise, lavender, her mother's scent, a ghost of longing, white light. She's back. Back in the office chair, the laurel wreath headset lifting from her head with a soft hiss. Real sweat soaks her diner uniform, clinging unpleasantly to her skin. Her body aches with a profound exhaustion that goes beyond physical exertion. On a sleek, transparent screen hovering before her, text flashes, "Log out complete. Final payment canceled. Subject unstable." The last part sends a chill down her spine. Unstable. Security bots, sleek and silent, whir to life, their optical sensors glowing red as they begin to glide toward her. They're not moving fast, but their intent is clear. She grabs the Billionaire's sleek mug, a ridiculously expensive-looking ceramic piece, and hurls it with all her might. It shatters against a wall of surveillance cameras, sending shards of ceramic and glass flying. Alarms, shrill and piercing, begin to howl through the pristine corridors. She runs, her bare feet slapping against the polished floor, adrenaline, a burning fire in her veins. Corridors stretch endlessly, lined with servers, thousands upon thousands of them, each labeled Eden 02, Eden 03, Eden 04. A horrifying realization of the sheer scale of Julian's project. He wasn't just building one ark, he was building an entire fleet of them. She reaches an elevator, its doors opening with a soft chime. Inside stands Julian. His lip is bleeding for real this time, a dark smear against his pale skin, his eyes burning with a cold, calculating fury. He blocks the panel, his body a solid barrier. Your property, Cadence. Under contract clause 12, you belong to Eden now. She doesn't argue. She doesn't have time. Her hand, still bearing the faint glowing imprint of the thumbprint scanner, slams against the elevator's door lock panel. The system hesitates, then obeys. User override. The oldest code. The doors slide shut between them, cutting off Julian's furious glare. She rides down alone, her heart slamming against her ribs, a frantic drumbeat of freedom. Ground floor, the exit doors burst open, spilling her out into the cold, exhilarating city night air. Sirens wail in the distance, growing closer. She doesn't look back. She just keeps running. A waitress, a beta tester now, a fugitive, but undeniably, gloriously free. 3 weeks later, she's working at a beachside bar, the salty air, a welcome change from the diner's grease. Tips are measured in quarters and crumpled singles. Not millions, but each coin feels earned, tangible. Every sunset, as the sky bleeds orange and purple into the ocean, she touches the faint, almost invisible scar on her forehead, where the button burned a permanent phantom brand. Some nights she still hears it, the waves glitching, a momentary flicker in the rhythm of the ocean. Sometimes she sees 2 moons, a brief, impossible hallucination against the real night sky. She blinks hard until the world behaves, until reality reasserts its firm, familiar grip. The debt's still there, a constant shadow, but the scar reminds her chains can break. Any chains. She pours a beer. The liquid, golden and frothy, smiles genuinely at the customer and feels gravity hold exactly like it should. Paradise, she's learned, can wait. Or rather, it can be a terrifying, soul-crushing trap. Reality, messy and imperfect and undeniably real, is more than enough. If you were trapped in Eden, would you climb the spire or stay for eternal lemonade? Drop your escape plan below. Smash subscribe for more stories that blur the line between code and consciousness, and tap like if you felt that headbutt.